Right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's day is going well. All right. Let's just make sure stuff's working here, and then we'll jump right into it because you know what? All right. There we go. All right. So, welcome. My name is Dark Algo, and today is Tuesday, August 17th, 2021. It is it's gonna be an interesting day. So, lots of news coming out of China. There's the major stocks that we usually trade with in China got hit again. So, that coupled with some mentions of tapering from the Fed caused pretty much a little bit of a sell off overnight. Nothing, I mean, we dropped to some pretty significant support levels um, as far as VWAP is concerned. Currently we're in a choppy, yellow condition. We are below this purple line you see is kind of a rising trend line that we broke below. So we're going to go through futures. We're going to check out some scanners. We're going to look at some of the big boys and see what they're doing. And I'm open for requests. So if you have any requests, make sure you get them into me now. And as soon as a couple people join, we'll get started. And check out Yield Twitter, see what Twitter has to say. Yeah, I think it sounds good. All I ask in return is you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for any and all new interesting content. I'm going to start pushing out a lot more. I think when I do one a day, I think one a day would be good. Let's see, I got some Twitter. Whoa. Really? Is this that slow today? All right. Yep, things are going to be laggy AF. So let's just start with news. Okay. So in the news, I'd read that. All right. So Chinese stocks. All right. First of all, Treasury yields fall ahead of the of an address of Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell today on the health of the world's largest economy. So he'll be speaking. We just need to keep an eye, or maybe that's tomorrow. It may be today. We'll check it out. Home Depot dropped based on earnings. All right. Eric Rosengreen said Monday he could be prepared to begin rolling back economic stimulus this fall. He said he wouldn't boost interest rates until employment picture improves. Chinese markets tumbled following another regulatory crackdown after China published detailed rules to tackle unfair competition and companies' handling of critical data. Right? That sucks. All right. Well, stocks that are going to be affected by that are going to be Baidu, Baba, Diddy, JD, and TES. So all of those stocks are going to be very reactionary today. And so we will obviously try to take advantage of any opportunities that those provide us because they can't just, drop $1 billion company to zero. It's just not going to happen. They are selling off pretty good. Okay. Pretty ugly with Baba. I like JD. It just seems to move pretty good. And yeah, we might be able to get a little play off of this. So I'm definitely going to keep those on my watch list. Any sort of reactionary plays with them, for sure. Other stocks that I've got interest in is Roku, Baba, JD, Baidu. Let's see. Let's see if I can get any news from FinTwit. The old FinTwit. Alright, this dude. Well, let's see. Alright. Notifications are morning. Alright, let's get going I'm going to go ahead and show you all what's happening on with the futures. We're going to look at some, we're also going to look at some Fibonacci levels, and then we're going to start looking at some individual stocks, maybe to play for the day. So ES, obviously, sold off 4448. Looks like it might be trying to hold support there. YM, nice little double bounce off of the weekly pivot, so keep that in mind. NQ is massive fade. This could get really ugly for tech. The Russell, however, is positive, so look for YM. Maybe there's a rotation into small caps, so we'll just keep an eye on that. Gold selling off. Crude, crude's making this nice little what do you call it, this thing here? I know it's got a name. Oh, that's right, it's the Wu-Tang pattern reversal. Keep an eye on crude. Bonds are just taking a dump. And the 6J, I can't remember what that is. I kind of always forget what that is. But I do like this double bottom here on the YM. Right, the Russell is making a nice little 1, 2, 3 reversal. So we'll keep an eye on that. Gold. Keep forgetting what 6J is. What's the 6J? Is that a yen? Ah, the yen. This is the yen. Yen. Yes, yen. Alright. So we'll just keep an eye on that for now. Okay. Moving on. Apple made all-time highs yesterday. I'm looking for a continuation. Actually, I'm looking for a sell-off on Apple. People taking profits. Usually tends to happen morning Travis. Usually tends to happen after an all-time high has been made. It also hit 2618 fib extension from longer-term fib extension. Just nailed right into it. Let me show you what that looks like. Oh, come on. Seriously? I don't necessarily need... Let's look at this. So this is what that looks like. Let's see if I can get this blowing up here. I had a 2618 at 151.12, and obviously we hit that a couple times, which is pretty decent. Kind of impressive, to be honest. Right, nailed that fib level. So I would look for Apple to continue to roll over a little bit today. From a Fibonacci perspective, I'm going to throw some up here. And let's see if I can grab a good screenshot of it. These are going to be the big boys. And by big boys, I mean, basically the NQ, anything that holds the NQ up. Let's see if I can get a bigger picture here. It looks like that's about as good as it's going to get. Tesla on the left bounced off of 1618 retracement at 677.69. It looks like it's just going to range chop. I swear Powell speaking today. Amazon, nice bounce to resistance at 330 or 3300. ES, this is just a fade rollover. We're currently below, however, below the 200 and the 50. ES 30 minute, ES 10 minute, same thing. Just looks like there's a little bit of a double bottom here on the 10 minute. Hopefully this will do one of those today. Apple bounced at 146 yesterday. Came up 151.71 is 1272 extension. So maybe a little pop and then drop. Facebook still got a little bit of room to go to 368 NQ. This is a rolling over. This is ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Right? I don't have support until 14915. Morning, Lazaro. Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna spend a little bit more time on futures today, just because I feel like these are gonna be pretty significant moves. These bands down here, these are all VWAP bands. They're anchored. I have to re-anchor them, but it looks like I think the purple is laggy is what it is. Super laggy. Apologize. All right, purple is... It's not what I wanted. Is it? Volume profile. Anyway, we'll just keep an eye on it. Looking to come down to 15, like 15,000 is, I feel like a very solid bounce point. I mean, that's major longer term psychological level. It's got a lot of things going for it. So possible move down to 15,000, or we can potentially bounce at this level here, 15030, right, which is what we're coming up on now. We may have tip-tapped off of that. Yeah, just keep an eye on it. If it goes south, it could get ugly real quick. These bottom yellow and red bars that you see here, this is market sentiment overall. When they're double green, momentum's right, the trend momentum's to the upside, right? When they're double red, trend momentum's to the downside. So, okay. All right. So Travis asks a question. His works calls in the mornings and sometimes can't follow the stream. Is there a reason that it's delayed in posting in its entirety? I think that's a YouTube thing where it's got to render through and maybe do some closed captioning. I'm not exactly sure, but Travis, I understand that, yeah, work calls. So if are you part of the Discord, or are you part of the Ecofin? If not, join the Ecofin and then hit me up with what you're looking at, and I'll try to get you taken care of like right off the bat. And then obviously I can leave messages in Ecofin and you'll get those for you. You can check on your phone. So yeah, I definitely want to help you out in any way that I can. So just let me know what I can do to help, okay? That's the ES, or excuse me, that was the NQ. Now, remember how I said the Russell's making a rebound? This is a 1, 2, 3 reversal. This is ABC reversal, right? And yeah, I'm super laggy. I apologize. Right? ABC. That's what we're looking for in the Russell. The Russell has a lot of room to move all the way back up to 2200. So another 12 points, which would basically go red to green. So we'll keep an eye on that. ES is down 20 points. Holy crap. I didn't realize that was that much of a drop off. While it looks bad, it's double bottomed, right? We do have a potential... Right? One of those kind of moves. That's what we're looking for here. As far as levels go, I think I pretty much nailed it with that daily at 44.65, which is that longer term trend line that it's busted and it's going to have a hard time getting over. All right, so just keep an eye on the futures today. Things are going to be super volatile. People are going to be going crazy. Okay, so yeah, he's in Ecofin. See if I can find him. Yeah, Travis, whatever your username is in Ecofin, send me a DM kind of with what your schedule is, and I'll see if I can figure out a way to get you some picks to work around that, okay? So, yeah, anything I can do to help. You know, I'm just here to help everybody out, spread the knowledge, share the wealth. I struggled really hard with finding solid people to follow. They weren't just trying to push their own agenda for years. And I just want to get back. Like, You know, I'm not a professional by any means, and I haven't been doing this for 30 years yet. But um, yeah, I just want to get back. That's all I, to be honest with you, that's all I want to do is get back to the world. I want to make the world a better place. And bang, if you'd sponsor me, it would help. But they're not going to do it. Well, they might. Who knows? Amazon tip-topped off its 1618 extension, so keep an eye on Amazon to fade. All right, so this is JD. Let's what's Echo Fan? No, different Travis, bud. Lazaro, 2 different Travises. We've got 2. 1 second here, Travis. All right, well, first things first, right? Here's the deal. If you get FlowTrade, I'm in there all day because I'm one of their pro traders. I'm in the chat room all day as part of my commitment to them. So if you don't have a trial of FlowTrade yet, I'm going to give you guys a link. Go get the 7-day trial. Check it out for a week. If you don't like it, give it 2 weeks, right? Ask them if you can, if you don't like it after 7 days, work with them. Be like, hey, I'm really not sure on this. Give it a couple weeks. And if that doesn't work out, we can work something out. I've got my own little personal server. EchoFin is the communication server that I use for development and testing. I've got some people in there that are pretty solid, and they're very active, and I really appreciate the mods that I have in there. But by no means it's not affiliated with FlowTrade, so let's not get that confused. Okay, that's the link to FlowTrade. All right, sorry, I'm just sending a message. All right, so I just sent you my email address, Travis. Email me, and I'll send you a link to EchoFin. EchoFin's kind of like Discord, but it's a standalone application that has a lot more right on financial services that we communicate in. Like I said, I'll try to figure out if I can see if I can get to you something earlier or later, or just a recap, whatever. I just definitely want to help you out, but I got to get going. So let's get some stock picks. If you guys want to look at anything, hit me up. I'm gonna check my scanners real quick and see if anything's popped up. Roku may be making a move today. Let's see what else we got. Let's see who's all right. Totally grabbing this from Twitter. This by no means is anything that I created, so I'm not even going to try to take credit for it. Thanks, Unusual Wells. This is what FinTwit's working on this morning. Apple, Tesla, Spy, Any. I don't know what Any is. We're going to check them out. Roblox had earnings. I'm not touching them. Docs seems pretty decent. I've heard their name around quite a bit. Upstart had an offering, so we're not going to touch them. BXRX, I've never heard of them either, but we'll check them out. And so we got Any, Docs, Roku, right? DocuSign, we've got plays in that, and Airbnb, as well as AMC, Airbnb, and AMC. So I've got positions in a couple of these already. Let's just jump right into it, okay? All right, I'm going to keep an eye on the futures over here on the right, on my right-hand side, just in case anything, like if NQ can't hold. So the yen's just selling off. We got to keep an eye on that. Bonds are selling off. Crude is increasing, the YM's recovering, and the Russell is making a move. NQ may have found a bottom, so just it's super important we check these because they are going to control the market. Okay. All right. So I wanted to look at Roku's getting a lot of notice this morning. The algo really isn't going to work with the massive sell-off. Yeah, some Chinese. Okay, yeah, Shabby, drop top. We went over that. Yes, we'll look at CVS. We went over that. Massive regulatory news coming out of China. Baba, Baidu, JD, possibly Roku are all going to be affected by that. Did I say Roku? I'm just going to post this in the chat. Oh, come on. I'm going to throw this in the chat real quick. I can't. Dang it. Let's see. Maybe this will work. We'll do it in 2 messages. There we go. Sweet. All right. So the algo is really not going to be, I mean, the algo will work once the market opens. However, any sort of massive sell-offs like that, the algo is not going to be able to predict. So CVS will check out. I wanted to look at whatever the docs is. And Airbnb. All right, so looking at Roku in the upper left-hand corner, a little bit of tiny minor divergence coming through. I'm not seeing, what's interesting is I'm not seeing any block trades for the last 10 days. Like, that's super interesting, even in the last 13 days on Roku. So, yeah, that's real interesting. Regardless, the algo is continuing to make higher lows and higher highs, while price action is making lower lows and lower highs. That is standard divergence, right? Algo is in a nice little uptrend. If you see what the algo did here, this is the equivalent of a bull flag. The algo is maintaining, it's kind of got this little the algo's kind of got this little bit of a, you know, rising wedge, long-term wedge happening. Looks like Roku's found some downward trend. All right, we found a bottom. Right, looks like it's starting to make an uptrend. It's got rising trendline support. Look for some of these key levels to be taken out to get into an entry. Roku. Yeah, it's a little, looks like it found a bottom. Look at that demand zone. I drew it weeks ago. Check that out. It's beautiful. All right, so we came down, we tip-topped out of the demand zone. We're currently trading at -3 ATR. Stocks don't like being that far from the mean. So whenever they get that far, they have a tendency to pull back to the mean, which is the 21 EMA on the daily. So that level is 415. That is also VWAP, the highest level of VWAP on the daily. Point of control for Roku is at 393, and that's just below the 50-day SMA. We do have rising 200-day SMA that we are below currently, so getting above that is going to be critical for us to make our move forward. I do like Roku. I'm probably going to try to get a position on it today. What I like also is, you see this little thing that it just did here, right? That's a failed Wu-Tang pattern reversal. So it's still valid because it's making a Dow 1, 2, 3 reversal. Okay, I don't want to get into a whole lot of that, but just know that this is a strong bullish candlestick pattern over here on the left hand side for Roku. Okay, we do have VWAP at 356 that we're going to have to get above, as well as the falling 200 SMA on the 10-minute chart. So for me, I may front run this a little bit, and if Roku can get up and break above 357, excuse me, 358, I may look to take a position on Roku. Right, 358 is taking out this level here. So 358, well, shit, I might as well just wait till it gets above the 200, right? So I mean, that's a $6 move that I'm missing out on. Yeah, let's... all right, so we're at demand zone support. We're looking to cross over on the MACD. RSI is neutral and increasing, looking for a slingshot squeeze to take place. However, the daily's a little heavy. If we can take out yesterday's highs, I would look for some pullback action. Let's check out where we're at the Keltner channels on Roku. Yeah, so we are currently trading... Ooh, this is ugly. We're trading in a demand zone right now. We don't have any support other than that demand zone. I was hoping maybe the weekly mid or the monthly mid or something was down here to help us out, but it's not. So potentially we've got room to the downside. 334 or 322. So 332.35. There is a demand zone down here. I don't think I have enough time to go through and finding it, but it looks like maybe this guy here. That may be an additional demand zone for support. So I really need to keep an eye on Roku. It's got a lot of weight above it to get through. So I'm not going to be a player on Roku until it breaks 380. I just gotta stick with that. 380? Hold on. You got a super risky move up to 365. The safer move would be Roku breaking 380 to continue upwards. So this divergence isn't enough for me to be super like, oh, let's just jump right in on it. But if Roku can prove that it's starting to reverse itself and break above the 200 SMA at 360, then I would look to become a player. So for Roku, 360.25, a break of that to go long, targeting. It's going to be a shorter term target just because of the overhead weight that it's got above it. Yeah, you see that fib? Yeah, it's got to break the 618. All right, I would target 370 on a break of 360. So 370, 380 on a break of 360. Sorry, that took forever. Wow, that sucked. All right, Roku, break of 360 to go long to 380. 390, 2 weeks. I'm gonna look at 2 weeks out on that as well. Okay. All right, so we've got requests for CVS over here on the right hand side of my screen. A little bit of bearish divergence. So what happened was nice strong move to the upside that got smacked in the head by this block trade that came in at 85.42. So 1, 2, 3 attempts at it. Looking for support of regular block trades coming in at 84.39 and then 84.63. That's our base. So if we need to come back down and test that level, definitely very possibly could be happening because the Algo has diverged from price action. It's very young, right? Just barely started happening. So yeah, price is moving down. It looks like there's a block. There's a gap that needs to be filled. Right? Yeah, there's this gap in here that needs to be filled. This gap. That gap there. So, potential move back down to support at 84.40. Below 84.40, we've got previous low. If we take that out, then there's a gap that needs to be filled on CVS. Okay. Let me look at the chart real quick and see if that's going to change my mind. Yeah, okay. So, bounce off the daily. We're at the daily top. This is a nice move here. Possible fifth wave that we're in now, right? Possible fifth wave. Targeting potentially that could be, you know, a fifth wave move to 87. Excuse me. Yeah, 87 even. However, if we reject off of the 4-hour top and daily top, we could come back down and test the 4-hour bottom, which would be taking out previous lows at 83.89. If that happens, there's potential to bounce there, right? Yeah, it's in a very interesting position. Let's see. Looks like it didn't really like that news, right? It's suffering just like the rest of the market is. So currently maintaining the 50 SMA and the 200 SMA on the 10-minute. Let's look on the 15. All right, yeah, so we've got rising 50-day SMA support at 84.78. We take that out, we come test previous lows at 84. Yeah, it looks like there's a pretty big demand zone. So we've got rising 200 SMA. We've got, looks like, right, we've got a previous demand zone that it may come back and touch. Overnight it broke previous highs, but immediately rejected and started pulling back. A little bit of a bull flag on the daily. Yeah, that's a tough one. So key level is going to be this 50-day SMA at 84.78. If that breaks, we may come back down to this demand zone at 84. Keep an eye on 84.50 being a psychological level and another little micro demand zone. Micro meaning very small. 84.50. Basically this little candle here. Oh, I didn't get all of it. Right, maybe a little demand zone there. So it can stair step down, but I would look for a bounce off of this demand zone and the rising 200 SMA on the 15-minute chart. Okay. All right. 1 second. Sorry about that. I had to go wake up my daughter. School's back in session. All right. So what was I talking about? CVS. Docs. I don't know what this docs is, but I'm seeing a lot of commotion around it. So we'll check it out. I've never played it, so we'll see what it does. All right. So docs. Don't know what they do. The Algo's made a nice little W, right? Reversal pattern, looking good here. We've got a regular block trade. All right, it nailed it. 76. So that is obviously computer trading there. The algo is trading with price action. Not seeing any significant divergence to speak of. This is all just price action, right? This is interesting. It was making lower lows, and it looks like it may have broken that with a bull flag. Check it out. All right, let me know a little history on this thing. So this is a newly formed IPO. Right, up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Launch. Pull back to 382. Another move to the upside. If we would have known about this last week, we could have played 55 to 78. That's a nice move. Yeah, it looks like it had kind of a right. So we took that out. We're touching the 50 SMA. Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one. So we're below VWAP, stack positive moving averages, right? MACD is negative and decreasing. Massive squeeze forming. RSI is falling, a little bit oversold, overbought, oversold. I get those two confused all the time. A little dyslexia kicking in. But I mean, RSI could come back down and test, right? Down to 28 or 30. Looks like the 50 SMA is kind of holding things up right now. Kind of holding things up. We've got the 200 rising 200 SMA on the 15-minute chart. So, all right, we've got pretty significant little demand zone there. We've got previous highs that we'd have to take out over here. Right. Usually the supply zone and the demand zone are about the same size, so I might be a few dollars off on this one. Yeah. So we got supply and demand zone. It may range shop from 75 to 82, really getting above 81. Look for it to try to test previous highs. Yeah, I like docs. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Okay, the other one I wanted to look at real quick was HD. So HD had earnings and they sold off. Pretty significant. They usually don't fade more than 2 to 3%. They sold off actually at 8%, or excuse me, 4%. The algo isn't going to be reflective of that earnings drop. I don't even know what HD is trading at right now. However, keep in mind, since they had earnings at the beginning of the week, their options, they're going to have a massive vol crush on them. So anything you play for this week are going to be tough. If you're looking to grab a dip buy for maybe a long-term account, obviously it's on sale right now. However, that move just represents a move back to the 21 EMA, right? Nothing super scary. Let's see, 318. It's a scary number. It dropped $18. So we pulled back to 320. So it looks like the 50 SMA on the daily caught us, right? Pull back to the 1618. This is a long-term fib I've got here anyway. So yeah. I this could be a double bottom to move to a longer move. Just the options are going to have a bunch of vol crush on them. So let's just keep an eye on it. If we look to get anything, maybe do a vertical a couple weeks out when the volatility is a little bit lower. But I think HD will recover from this pretty quickly. This wick is a stop killer, so anybody that shorted this, their stops got taken out here, right? So let's think about the price action for a minute. They had bad earnings. The market opens. A bunch of sell orders get put in, right? Massive sell-off. If you sold here at this level, right, you're going to put your stop loss at this level, right? So sell off, pull back, sell off, right? You're putting your stop loss in here somewhere. Oh, I gotta get my thing, a little tool. You sold, your stop loss is at this level. So continuing to sell off, you would, that's a 1 to 3 move, right? That's, a $5 move. So basically, your stop loss is there. What happens with this wick here is all the orders that had their stop loss right here just got taken out. That wick came in and killed them all. So all the shorts are gone. Now it can continue to sell off, right? And people would just, put a stop loss here. Or typically when I see this happen, and I'm trying to backtest it right now, but whenever I see those giant John Wiki wicks, I like to see where the direction of the stock moves after that. A lot of times what will happen is it'll move in the direction of the wick, because what's happened is they shorted this. They've got a stop loss here. This wick came up, right? They threw a massive buy order in that took out all these stop losses, right? So all those shorts are dead, right? So now regular price action can resume. I feel like it may come back down and tip top at the open 320.50. That's the 200 on the daily, or the 50 on the daily. So bounce off the 50 SMA on the daily for continuing to move back to the upside. So yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I'll look at something for a couple weeks out. HD vertical 2 week, 3 weeks out. Okay. All right. So we looked at Starbucks. Yes. Starbucks. Sorry, I apologize. I missed that. Xbox. And then I gotta run. Apple is selling off. Yeah, the Russell's recovered. NQ has broken support and is continuing to sell off. Bonds are selling off. The yen is continuing to fall. ES is chopping. The YM has not made that recovery and is continuing to chop. It's made a double bottom. It's coming down to check. It's coming down to test a triple bottom at the weekly pivot 35300 for YM. All right, Starbucks. What's going on with Starbucks? So the Algo is essentially trading with price action. We've got some overhead cluster block trade resistance coming in. And Algo is just basically trading with price action. It is curled up today, right? There's a there's a curly key right there. Look for the Algo to interact at 116, which is a block trade level. Regular block trade level at 116 is providing support. We have a cluster of resistance that runs 118.12 to 118.92. A break of 118.92, so basically a break of 119, and then I think we can continue nice chunky moves long Before we get though, we do have a dark pool block trade that is currently providing the most recent support, coming in at 117.09. I do like the move that price action's making, in that it's making a nice steady uptrend, and I believe that we can continue to follow that. We've got previous lows that it looks like we just barely took out, so I would look for a test of 118.12, or maybe a burst through 118.12, back test, and then move through 119. So with Starbucks, for me, I would become a serious player at about 119. So we'll just keep an eye out for that. And let me throw some mutes on here. I'm listening to somebody and I don't want to hear them. NVIDIA smacked into the fib extension. Look for a pullback on NVIDIA. Google's about to do the same thing. Roku is trying to bust through some fib levels. The Dow made a nice bounce off of 35267. Nice bounce. All right, so that's Home Depot. SBucks. All right, so Starbucks is using the rising 200, or excuse me, the rising 50 as support. This is still a come on, don't be so damn laggy. I hate that. I may just have to go invest in a massive Windows machine because this is BS. All right, so Starbucks sold off, bounced off the daily bottom, which is also the monthly mid, monthly cloud, or the monthly top mid. Ugh, that's a mouthful. 4-hour bottoms currently testing the monthly cloud top, which is also the 4-hour top. It needs to get above, like I said, that. I mean, there is a move. 118.12. Excuse me, 118.16. Let's just call it 118.25. So if it can do a move above 118.25, I would actually play it to 120, potentially taking profit at 120, letting a runner run to 122 or 123, right? This is how that looks. So this is what's positive about Starbucks. If this right hand side of my screen will ever stop spazzing out, I can show you. Lord. All right, it was trading at -2 ATR. It's riding that rising 50-day SMA. So the 50 is on top of the 200. That's a strong uptrend. A reversion to the mean for Starbucks would be, Lord, I must be running late. A reversion to the 21 represents a move to 120. You would have to get through point of control coming in at 118.25. 118.25, I called it. So a break above 118.25, and we can see a move back up to 120. Just, yeah, basically, I called it. Cup and handle forming, stack positive moving averages, everything stack positive. On the 15-minute chart, we do have to take out so there's a move from 160. Let's see what's going to happen here. Possibly the open, it pulls back to 116.50 and then moves up to 120, or it can just rip out of the gate, and I would look for a move above 117.50 for a pullback. So it can go like this. No. Let me try that again. Maybe not. I gotta get used to these drawing tools. Gotta get used to the drawing tools. Yeah. So, like I said, I like Starbucks. It can either rip out of the gate or it can pull back to 115.75. All right, so either pull back to 116 or we continue to rip. I'm looking at 116.50 as support. All right, I got to run. Thanks for joining me. Once again, my name is Dark Bull Algo. I'm here every morning, Monday through Friday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, help a brother out. Us small content creators really need all the help that we can get sometimes. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Have a good one. Stay safe, stay green, and